Hey everyone! I'm so excited. I'm going to be going live with Marc0n0Pol0 in like less than 1 minute. Let me actually see if he's on. No, he's not on yet. Oh, but Ashlight Star is, and she's great. Um, yeah, we're going to be going live at 10 o'clock my time, 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I'm so excited to talk to him. And today is the first day of the rest of my life because I quit my job yesterday. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that now I get to just do this. So let me see if he's on yet. Not yet, but in a minute. And Allie, no, I'm not giving readings. You're getting scammed. So I'm so over people I'm so over people being so like not having discernment. I don't do readings. Have you ever heard me mention that I do readings? No. So if you fell for it, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Do not blame me for your lack of discernment, okay? And if you don't stop, I will block you. So get with it. I saw that he was just, okay. I don't know who you are, Allie, and you're really annoying. Honestly, I'm not dealing with your energy today, so I'm blocking you. I saw that Marco jumped on. It said to invite him to go live, but I don't see him anymore. If anybody sees him, let me see. I'm trying to find him. Hopefully he finds me. Hopefully he invites me because I don't know what's happening. Did you guys see the video I posted last night of the sky? Oh my god. I get tagged a lot in videos, so it's really hard to see all the videos. Like I don't have time. I wish I could. And honestly, I do okay, here he is. I do try. Hi!
Oh, what's going on?
Oh my god, good morning. I'm so excited.
Good morning, good afternoon,
Yeah, good
West
afternoon for
Coast to East Coast.
yeah.
So how's everything going?
Oh my god, it's great. It's the first day of the rest of my life because I quit my job yesterday. So this
Congrats.
is the first, like the best live we could be doing today. And I don't know if you saw the video I made for our live, but like I was like, he doesn't even know. You're like the one of the I think like the first account that I saw that helped me with my awakening journey. I was like, dude, this makes sense.
So
So thank you.
no prop. So you followed the old account that got deleted,
Yeah.
which it got deleted when I was exactly at 888,000 people following, which was a trend. Like that number means an abundance of something is coming your way. So it's like you passed the torch, you picked up what was put down and you carried it, and
Yeah,
abundant
dude. Yeah,
fruit.
like I can't believe you had that many. You had 800, wait, 888 or
888,000. And then it just got, I logged on and it was done.
wow, dude.
And,
Yeah, I thought because that was so long ago, and that was when they were really attacking the community because nobody
right.
was really talking about it because you were one of the first ones. They were really going after you. And then I was able to find your Instagram, and I was like, oh, thank God I had followed you like right before your account got taken down on Instagram. So I was like, oh, thank God I found his Instagram. So like in case anything happens, and then no joke, within like a few days, your account was gone. And so I was like, oh, thank God I'm following him on Instagram. So I kept following you there. And then I saw you started posting again. And so I went and followed your new account. And I'm like, oh, thank God it's still up. I'm so
No,
happy.
they are, and they're after you, as I see. Like it's
Oh,
so crazy. Anything that
yeah.
involves a form of light, we're just spreading knowledge, and they don't like
Yeah.
that. They don't
No.
like the fact that you're exposing And this is what I'm talking about. Like we're going to dive into a lot today. We have a lot to unpack within this next hour. But I know that we are on the same wavelength because looking at your content, and you're one that just blew up about time, the Mandela effect. Like I think that's the video where I came across you, and it was good to see that. Wow, we are on the same wavelength. And the note, like where you said that you came across my old page, and that was the catalyst to starting your journey. And it, like with every journey, we're still learning. I'm still
Yeah.
learning. It's a
Yeah. Every day I learn something new, and it's so exciting because I was actually talking about this with my sister because I grew up very, very religious. And so I was telling her, I was like, dude, when we were younger, like growing up with this belief system, it was boring. It was like, this is the only thing you can believe in. That's it. And that's it. That's all. And it's like, you have to sacrifice your life on this earth to like live forever in heaven. But then like heaven didn't sound fun either. So then I was like, ew, I don't want to do either of these things. But then I was like, okay, I guess I have to do it. And I like hated it. And then I'm like, now it's an endless amount of possibilities of what could happen. And like, this seems way more fun. I like this reality more.
right. So, and it's crazy you mentioned religion because I grew up in a very Christian house. Well, my grandmother was Christian and my dad passed down. Like, I'm not going to have you baptized because I want you to make your own decision when you get older. I'm not going to force religion on you. And my encounter with religion, where I started deviating, was when my grandmother took me to a church where there was this woman in a wheelchair, and it was like I call it a cult. I did a video that was on my old account where I was like, that time my grandma took me to a cult where this woman was in a wheelchair, and we're coming in late. So I saw this woman. She's getting into this wheelchair, and I was like, oh.
Oh, hold on. I can't hear you. Can you guys hear him? I lost your sound. Did you get like a, there you
There, are we there now?
go. Okay, good.
Okay, yeah. So what was going on was there was a woman who was in a wheelchair, and she was starting to walk. She was walking before getting into the wheelchair. And as we're getting into the church, she's like, the pastor calls her up and was like, "Oh, this woman came all the way from Maryland to receive this blessing from the Lord." So he like raised his hand and touches her, and like he calls her up to the stage. Let me digress and get back to that. Before he's doing his sermon, then he calls up and is like, "Is there anyone who needs a miracle in the crowd?" And then he calls her up there, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, Grandma, that's the same woman that was just okay. All right, I'm young." My grandma has that look of Jesus where she looks at me and she's just like that don't say
Mm-hmm.
nothing, just obey and listen
Yeah.
to the preacher saying.
Yeah.
So he calls her up. I'm like, Grandma, that's the same woman. And then she was like, shh. And I was like, all right, whatever. All right, cool. So he calls her up and he's like, does this woman want to receive this blessing? Anybody? And then this woman who was in a wheelchair, they wheel her up, and he touches her, and then she gets up from the wheelchair, does a little wobble, and starts walking. Whole church goes crazy, and everyone's catching the Holy Ghost, as I say, the Holy Ghost. Everyone's walking around screaming, and I'm just like, ah, okay. So I told my dad, and my dad was like, yeah, don't ever go to that church again. He told her, don't take your son to that. Don't take your grandson to that cult again. So that was like my first inkling of religion being kind of like phony and for control. And then as I do more research, and I've learned to accept all religions, and I love learning because if you think about it, they're all similar in a way. When you think
Mm-hmm.
what I talked about, where the Book of Enoch isn't it crazy how all these religions mention a form of beings that came down and created giants, and they are in the earth, which we're going to get to, but it's
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
right because it's just crazy how every religion kind of relates in a way. You date back to old Sumerian religion, how they have their own like anti-hero and a hero with their own god, their own devil. It's always an adversary. You look at Greek mythology, Roman mythology, they relate. And we can take this as far as going towards like Norse mythology, how they all talk about beings from the sky, and how what
Mm-hmm.
is it? The Dogon tribe in Africa talks about these being they worship beings from serious. So it's just like, gosh, there's so many things to take in, and there's so many answers. Like I personally know, I feel internally like our history has been lied to on how old the earth really is. And if you
Mm-hmm.
go to Ethiopia, there's a reason that there's a man that guards the Bible, like the Book of Eli. What if you look when you remember, if you've seen the Book of Eli, the movie, the whole premise of the movie was him guarding a Bible because the information is in books, and if you can control the masses with books, you can control the world essentially. And that's exactly what they're doing. And that's why I know for a fact our history goes way beyond the quote unquote what we're taught. Like
Oh, of course.
they wouldn't try to suppress this knowledge for a reason. I think I don't know what particular video got me deleted, my old account deleted, but I was already pissing them off with my thoughts on COVID. Cause like two years ago, like being a firefighter EMT, I am in the front lines of COVID, and I was talking about my own experience. I was just like, look, I don't care if it's your choice to get the vaccine, but don't go up there thinking that just because you have the vaccine, you're safe. You're still going to get COVID. And I was flagged and I was banned like multiple times saying, oh, that's false information. You can't even mention me on Instagram now. And that's why I had to get rid of my old account because they are trying so hard to suppress what I've been saying a long time ago that if you literally try to mention me on that old Instagram account, it's going to say, he's violated so many violations due to COVID, you can't mention him. And
They
people,
did that to real Kaya. Do you know who she is?
yeah, yeah.
They did that to her too because I tried to tag her recently on Instagram and I was like, what? They're like, too many violations against COVID. And I was like, have you been talking about COVID? And she was like, no. So they don't want me tagging her either because she's also
Yeah,
spreading information. I'm like, interesting that it's also people of color because like I'll talk about the same thing and I get a whole different reaction than she'll get. And I'm like, I'm
really.
saying the same thing she's saying. Yeah, I said the same thing she said. Dude, I don't want to get into it, but like she got really fucking dragged through the mud over shit that people just completely misunderstood her message. And I think it's bullshit. I want to do a live with her too because I'm like, you don't deserve this. And this is so dumb. People hear what they want to hear. They're not hearing what you're trying to tell them. They just
Right.
hear what they want to hear and misinterpret everything. So, anyways, yeah, dude, like they really try to silence everyone that's trying to spread truth and knowledge, and especially with like if you try to talk about anything on Facebook, Instagram, for sure. Which with now with the whole Joe Rogan thing talking about the terms and conditions of TikTok, everyone's like, "Oh my god, did you hear?" And it's like, yeah, the US does that too. Like, what are you guys thinking China wants with our information? China is so much more advanced than us. They don't give a shit about us. Like, we're nothing to them. We really are nothing. Like, we're bottom of the barrel country, guys. Like, come on, wake up. And then you
Yeah.
guys are sitting here being like, "Oh my god, China has your information." I'm like, so does the US. Facebook actually was found selling our information to China. So, like, why are you guys acting like this is news? This has been going on.
Yeah.
So it's
Like,
just like people just hear things and then they just run with it and don't ever use their discernment, don't ever use their own brain that's inside their head. Use it. It pisses me off.
but you think about it, this is years of conditioning where people have been taught to think a certain way and think like, oh, your government has your best interests. Far from the truth. And you can't say that. Like, you can't say, oh, this is the truth about your government. Your government, like I talked about the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, those videos get deleted. I talked about how we were doing natural remedies, how the whole pharmaceutical industry has been like, you look back at the Rockefeller, Carnegie, how they essentially just stimulated this whole industry, making us reliant on petrochemicals because what? That's your oil companies right there benefited. That's
Right.
benefit big pharma. Everybody has their hand in the pot to benefit each other. So when I
Yeah.
talk about this and I said Bill Gates is the next one who's doing, it's history repeating itself. They don't like
Yes.
that. Got me deleted. That's
Everything is history repeating itself. Monkeypox thing that's going on right now, history repeating itself. Everything like COVID was like the Spanish flu. Like, guys, 100 years passed and we didn't learn. We didn't grow as people. Like everyone wants to stay stuck too. Like I think it's very, very strange when I've kind of shifted my content. My content used to be more exposing stuff, which I still do, but I try to twist it into like a positive now. What can we do to change it instead of just complaining, right? And so when
Right.
I'm sitting here like being excited because some like yesterday I posted a video about like how pretty the sky was and how close the moon was, and the moon was looking at me and all this, and I'm like all excited, and then people want to come in and are like, it's always been like that, like, and they're just so much like Debbie Downers, and I'm like, I'm trying to raise the vibes, guys. I'm trying to like post something exciting so that people aren't focused on the negative. And like, why do you want to stay stuck so bad and stagnant? Like, we as humans, we must evolve. I don't understand why people want to stay stagnant or go down or go backwards instead of going up. Like, we have to keep going. Like, what's the issue here?
People, and it's crazy. Like, you think of TikTok, right? What videos usually go viral? These crazy dance. TikTok started because of dance trends going viral, like stupid stuff. Like, I had an account with my kids and that blew up, but then something ticked in me where I was like, I don't want to keep putting my kids' energy out here on this internet. And I kind of went to myself where I was like, I don't really like exposing myself on the internet now. Besides, if it isn't raising awareness to something, I don't need to be part of the trend. Oh, let me post something funny. Like, don't get me wrong, I look back at those videos and laugh at them, and it was great bonding time with them. But it was just like their energy is out there now, and all the stuff with kids and the information. I don't need that. So I kind of shifted my. I had like 3 accounts, so I shifted. I don't even use that account really. I just look at back at it for memories. But I look at like my old account, how it started off on dating, and then it's like when I woke up and I was just like, I'm tired of treating women a certain way. Like I'm evolving. Like, and I met the woman I'm with now, and it was an evolving, like it was growth. And that's when I started sharing, like, look, we are all one essentially. Like we just have to realize our own potential. Like, yes, I was like as you say, complaining in the beginning where I was like, oh yeah, because somebody hit me with a good point. They were like, yeah, you can expose all these conspiracies, but so what? What can you do about it? Like, what's the point of you? Yes, we get it. We get it. The government's doing this, the government's doing that. But so what? What are we doing about it? There's nothing you can do about it. I'm like, well, I made people aware, and now I want to continue to make people change their reality.
Right.
Manifestation is really big with change. I started getting into the more fit like spiritual side of it with manifesting, like teaching people how to do that change. And what you're doing, you're changing your matrix essentially. The whole concept of we have to go to school, go to college, get a degree, get a job, be slave to that degree, be slave to that job, do that for 60 years. That's was conditioning back then. This new way of thinking, like, we are going off the grid. Like what you're doing, quit your job. I want to focus and change my matrix and focus on social media. That is shifting the matrix. You're not living the normal standard that everybody is supposed to have this job. Everybody's supposed to get a college degree and live their life a certain way. No, I'm creating my own path where I'm not going to be a slave to this matrix system, and I'm going to deviate from this. I'm doing this thing in a way where I'm getting rid of this apartment. Rent's way too expensive, and I'm going to live in the woods within the next. That's
You are?
yeah.
That's so exciting.
I'm literally downsizing, getting a license, living in a nice little travel trailer, traveling and just living nomadically. Like
Oh,
I feel
that's
like
so awesome.
that honestly feels like it fits my soul more before I know that social media or whatever, because I want to get in more involved in the quantum healing. And I know that
Mm-hmm.
my purpose, like being in a fire department, like is great. I'm helping people's physical bodies. And but being in a fire department, I've also realized that at the end of the day, I have no control on their outcome. Like
Mm-hmm.
whether you live or you die, I went in thinking, oh, I'm gonna save everybody. I'm gonna have this hero complex. I'm gonna save the world, like save as many people as I can. But then after you see like a few events happen where you're just like, you know what? Some people have it written in their contract where they're just gonna die by a tree falling on them, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you're going to do that is going to fix them, because that is how, and that's when I started learning about the journey of souls, everyone's soul contract. And that's when I was like, you know what? Some people had it written in their contract that that's how they were going to go out. And not a lot of people understand that concept, but like, that's why, like, I've learned, like, it's kind of like making me not detached from the fire department, but it's kind of like make me numb to like understanding and accepting the process of death, because I know that it's not the end. So it's the fact that I've gotten too comfortable with people, like realizing that I have no control over people's outcome. I like to think I
Mm-hmm.
do. Doctors, nurses, we all like to think we have a form of control over the outcome. We are just a part of their story to either assist in that outcome, and that's it. And when you realize
Mm-hmm.
that, that's when it's like time to, like, okay, now I realize I want to help people spiritually, not just
Mm-hmm.
physically, because this is a temporary meat suit. Like, and that's
Right.
where like that is my purpose, is to help the collective conscious ascend. And that's why we are coming across people like you, similar, who are on that same mission, who are going to create their own destiny, create their own path, deviate from the social norms that society says we have to abide by. Screw
Mm-hmm.
everything we've been learning these years. Like, and that's where, like, I want to know, like, your thoughts, like, to like segue into something else. Like, we said we are going to dive into flat earth and the hollow earth theory. Like, I would love to know your thoughts on this. What do you think?
Yeah. Okay. So ever since I was a kid, um, the concept of Earth that we were taught in school with the layers and the cores and everything, like, never made sense to me. Gravity didn't make sense to me. Like, how's the water staying in place? Like as a kid, I'm thinking like this just doesn't make sense. Like, we're like, I'm up here and there's people down here and they're not upside down. Like, how does this work? Like, in my head, it just didn't make sense. Never believed in the moon landing, not for a second. I lived in Florida, so of course I had been to Kennedy Space Center on field trips and I saw everything, and I was just like, okay, sure. But then I was like, this just doesn't make sense. But I never also didn't believe in the flat earth, because I thought, I don't think we're just like in a flat square either. But then I thought, I just have this feeling inside me that the earth is hollow and there's life in the center of the earth. Like, I just always believed that there's like an underwater world, like there's life in there somewhere. There's definitely life inside the earth somewhere. But I didn't really know how, because I didn't believe that the earth was like a floating rock in space. So then when I came across the whole firmament, because like when I started these videos in April, somebody asked me, do you think, I think they asked something about the earth being flat. And I was like, I don't believe that the earth is flat, but I do believe that the earth is hollow and there's life in the center of the earth. And then that's when I found KCD Industry, which I don't know if you follow him. He's like super flat earther and he like talks about the firmament. And I had never heard of the firmament. So I was like, oh, what is the firmament? So then I like looked into that. And then now I'm like, okay, this is my theory. I think we live in like a bubble, like a snow globe. And then the earth is essentially flat and round, like in the middle of it. And then there's like life, like we're on one half and then there's life on the other half, and they're living like underneath us, or maybe we're living under them, somebody. And then I got he messaged me right after I said my video where I was like about the sinkholes, and he was like, I think your theory might be right, because I think the earth can be flat and hollow because of the giants and all what you were just talking about. The same day I also got another girl who was like, I think you're right, because I think it could be kind of like a CD disc, and like maybe at the North Pole, at the poles, it leads to the center of the earth. So like I really do feel like we're in a bubble in like a big body of water. Like, I believe that space is water. I believe that water is like literally everything. When I was under ayahuasca, all I kept hearing was water is everything. Water, water, water. And I was like, and I was so thirsty the entire 3 days. I was like chugging water. And then but then the last day was when like I kept drinking the water, and it was bottled water, and I was getting sick from it. And it was like the medicine was trying to tell me, like, keep drinking it until you realize they're trying to kill you guys with the water. Because I saw a vision of, it was essentially a big bubble, and it was water overflowing from this bubble and dead bodies coming out of it. And I just couldn't stop crying, because I was like, why are they trying to kill us with the water? I heard everyone asking me, why are they trying to kill us? And I'm like, I don't know. So I was like So then, oh my God, my experience was insane. Then like the earth, I was inside the barn, and then like the earth was like calling me outside, and I was like, I have to get outside. I thought the walls were closing in on me. I went outside, and like the earth pulled me down. Like I couldn't walk. I was like, literally, I had 5 people carrying me. I was like, I have to get to the grass. And then they like get me on the grass, and the earth just like pulled me like face plant, face down, boom. And then I heard the earth asking me like, why are they killing me? And I was like, I don't know. And I just started crying, and I hit the ground, and I was like, they're killing the planet. They're killing us with the food, and they're killing us with the water. Like they're poisoning the water. I yelled it to everyone, and everyone was like, you know, the helpers are like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. And I was like, I have to tell people. I was like so desperate because like the energy was like telling me like, you need to tell people this. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't know like anything that was going on. And then all of a sudden it's like all this shit's coming out about the water and like all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. So that's sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent, but
No, I'm
I
listening.
think that we do believe. Oh, but here's the thing. Somebody commented on my video and said, okay, so I think of it like a honeycomb, and they said something with like plasma and these holes or something. And I was like, well, the thing is, the first vision that I had under ayahuasca was I saw humanity destroying itself over and over. I went on a loop of an infinite hell 6 times, and it was inside of a honeycomb. So I just saw a honeycomb. I was like in the honeycomb, but I wasn't a part of it. I was looking at it from the outside's point of view, and I just saw humanity. I heard every sound that's ever been created in the entire universe. I heard the crying, the screaming of women and children, the anguish, the pain. It was heart-wrenching. And all I saw was like everything. I like saw like, you know, the pyramids of Egypt. I saw like Greece. I saw everything that's ever been created, and it was swirling around like a toilet bowl flushing. And I was like so dizzy that in my real body I was just throwing up for like an hour straight. But then while I was watching it in this other dimension, I was like, dude, this is exhausting. Like, I am so tired. Are you guys not tired? Is this ever going to end? And I would get to the bottom of the loop, and I would just fall like dead weight into my bucket. And then like my higher self would be like, ew, you're in the bucket. Get up. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'd take a deep breath, and then the loop would start again. I went through it 6 times. I was like, is this going to end? And then now I realize, like, oh, humanity has destroyed itself 6 times. This is our 7th time doing this. Like, now we've got to end this. So that theory now could be true. Like, maybe we are living inside of a honeycomb. We are little worker bees. Like, everybody has a beehive mindset. Nobody does this thinking on their own. So I do think it's hollow, though, somewhere. There's life somewhere else. We're not the only ones here.
Right. Like so me personally, like I look at it like this. You take everything that you ever learned, throw it out the window, because we don't know what is truly real and what is fake. For example,
Right.
we're taught that Earth's at the center of Earth's core is fire. But then we learn that's just a theory. What are theories? Theories can be broken. That now we have ringwoodite, which is water, a water-bearing mineral that has been found abundantly underneath the Earth's mantle, discrediting this whole, oh, below this is fire and all fire. No, there's water abundantly available, meaning there's something else abundantly available down there as well, too. And then you look at the Admiral Byrd diary and how he talks about how he was escorted in. He went beyond the ice wall. And I've had dreams of like going down to Antarctica. And that's why I say dreams are important, because your dreams take you places where it's like I do see luscious green land just abundantly going on for my, like, as far as the eye can see. Just you go from ice to just tropic. Like, you know how you go down a mountain, it's ice, and then you go down at the peak, it's hot again, it's warm, and it's just like a abrupt change. But I don't recall seeing a inside of Earth, but I remember there being land beyond the ice that is warm and tropical. And what's crazy is like his diary talks about how he was escorted into Earth, and there were flugerods that escorted him in. These were the UFOs, and they talked to him how they don't like what's going on in this surface world. And then we got back to the Pentagon, and they completely discredited him and said, yeah, we're not telling anybody this, what you just discovered, you know, because we're taught, oh, this big ball. Now, I can't say whether or not that he was lying, and I can't say whether or not we've been to space, truthfully, because I have watched the Kennedy Space Center launch, and you do notice when they go up, they curve. And you notice most of the kids, when you're a kid, you ask the questions that the adults don't have the answers. You're like, oh, why are they curving? I thought you just go out of space. And we're like, oh, the gravity, the shift, they have to calculate. but it's just like they go up and just instantly hit that curve. So that was like one of those things where I was just like, what are they really doing? Like, yes, I've watched rockets go up, but I haven't watched them like truly ascend. Like, so it's like I can't say I'm a flat earther. I can't say I believe in hollow earth, but and I can't say that space doesn't exist, because I know that stars do control, like it's like you take all this stuff, and I know, like I'm familiar with astrology and how stars influence us, and I didn't get into astrology until like realizing that, yo, full moon, people are really crazy on a full moon, especially like if you're working the medical field. You just see how crazy people are on the full moon. You're just like, oh, or if Jupiter's in retrograde, you see how it influences people's emotions. And if you look
Mhm.
at influenza, like if you look back at before it, influence mean to be in, like it was from being influenced from the stars. So sickness, for example, when we get influenza, because we are made of this stardust, this material, like our sickness at the time of that lunar, this cycle of the sky is influencing our sickness. Western medicine groups it as the flu, just one sickness, but it's multiple sicknesses that is happening, not just the flu. Because you ever think about it, they say, oh, there's multiple strains of the flu, not just one strain. Like that's why we can't find a cure for the flu. So the
Mm.
sickness of the time is whatever's influencing us from the stars. So that's why it's just like when it comes to astrology, it's like, I don't know, can the earth be flat? Is there a space? I mean, I've had dreams where I traveled to other distant like planets, where like I'm gonna talk about this one dream in a future video, because I was like, yo, there, like my soul or some form of my consciousness traveled to this other distant planet where it was like, I don't know if you're into Star Wars, but it was like a planet that was like Tatooine. It was a desert planet, and in the center of it was a hole that led to the sky, but it was a mirror image of itself. And I met this guy who was just like, he's playing music in front of a large crowd, and then he sees me and he's like, "You're not supposed to be here." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I'm your uncle. I'm your brother-in-law, and you're not supposed to meet me here until you've experienced Earth." And I was like, and I woke up and I was like, "Oh." But knowing what I know about dreams, I know that your dreams are messengers. Your dreams are telling you things that have happened or are going to happen. Because time, if you think about time as a book, we're taught time in a linear perspective. But if you think of time as a book where it's like it's all stacked on top of each other and
Mhm.
all the stories are happening simultaneously, like what your part of time is just a story you're reading, but in a
Mhm.
linear perspective. But when you fold that book on top of each other, it's like it's unilateral. It's non-linear. So you look at Interstellar, which I remember you said you watched. Great movie, right? Like where
Yeah.
they enter the Tesseract, and he talks about how he was able to send the messages in the Tesseract from this fifth dimensional space, kind of showing how time does not function the way we think time does. So, look, space, time, flat Earth, all that. I can't, like, I know time, for example. That's one thing I feel like I'm positive to know, that time doesn't exist the way we think it exists. But flat Earth,
I have, oh, I didn't wear it today, but I have my merch that says time is an illusion, because
it
I've
is.
always said that. And that's why I have 4 clocks up on my wall, and people ask me all the time. I've always been obsessed with watches and clocks since I was a kid. And people are like, why do you have so many clocks? I'm like, I've always wanted a clock wall. And I'm like, and then I did that, not even knowing. When I moved here in 2020, I was like, oh, just to remember that time is an illusion, not knowing all this shit was going to happen. It's like, it's crazy when you get to a point where you realize like your higher self really did plan everything.
It
It's
does.
mind blowing. It's mind blowing to think about, like, oh, that's why I did this. That's why I did that. Like, my higher self has been like, that's why everything's happening at once. Like, did you watch the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I have not. I got to check that out. I'll probably add that to
Oh my God.
everything
Amazing
happens at
movie,
once.
bro. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I'll
You haven't
write
heard
that
of
down.
it?
I never
It
heard of
was
it.
huge. Dude, it was just out in theaters a few months ago. I get comments on of every day, like, watch everything. I'm like, I watched it the minute it came out. I made a video about it. I hit San Diego before it hit like most theaters everywhere. It's literally about how everything is happening at once. And I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, like she gets into a situation where she's like what do I do? And then she can like access like other parts of her brain that she didn't even know she could because of other past lives. But it's like really all happening kind of at once. And it was just the best movie. Like I laughed, I cried, there was action. It was the best. It got amazing reviews, like best movie of the year for sure. You have to watch it. I'm sure it's out now. You could
I hear
probably watch it.
someone said it's on Netflix, so I'll check it out in my spare
I don't think it's on
this
Netflix yet.
week. So
It
I'm a
was
definitely
just out
watch.
in theaters.
Oh yeah, I'm a def. I remember you made a video about it actually, not that like a few months
Yeah,
or
somebody
summer.
said not Netflix. Somebody said Amazon Prime or Apple TV.
Okay. Do I have? I can
That
get
one's good.
Amazon Prime.
Have you watched A Wrinkle in Time?
I have watched, and there's the
Dude,
book. Like, yeah, that's the. Did you are you talking about the newer one that had? I think Disney made the newer one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I watched that one. I never watched it, and I know it got really bad reviews, but I am like, I watched it. I did acid like 2 or 3 weeks ago for the first time, and I kept getting, I guess my spirit guides kept talking to me, being like, watch A Wrinkle in Time, watch A Wrinkle in Time. And I never cared to watch because it got bad reviews. And I was like, okay, I have to go home. I was out at the park watching the sunset. And I was like, I have to go home and watch A Wrinkle in Time. And I was watching it with my friend who we did acid together. And dude, it fucking blew my mind because it felt like I was watching my life play out in front of me. Because everything was very personal to me. And I was just like mind blown that I was crying. I was hyperventilating. I was like, I feel like I just met God. And it's all about the Tesseract. And like, you know, everything just made so much sense for me personally, which I'm going to end up doing a video about it. But I highly recommend that people watch this movie because I feel like it got bad reviews because Christians banned it and they said, oh, it's too complicated for children to understand because it's talking about science and spirituality and blah blah. And I'm like, I knew there was a fucking hidden agenda because Disney doesn't do bad movies. I mean, Disney may do some evil shit, but they do be putting truth in movies,
Oh
and you
yeah,
guys
like
just have to pay
oh,
attention to it. Yeah.
like, they. I think the truth is always hit. Like that's why they took over Marvel. Like there's a lot of truth in Marvel movies. Like when people talk about Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange is probably one of my favorite heroes in Marvel because I feel like most of his powers we all have the ability to access with our mind. Lucy is another great movie that talks about how powerful your mind truly is. But we all have the ability to interdimensional travel, as I mentioned with dreams. We all have the ability to meditate and access the Akashic records. Like that is something that if you ask any of your psychic mediums, they access these realms. And it's crazy because speaking of the Akashic records, you look at all the great minds like Nikola Tesla, Srinivasa Ramanujan. They would Srinivasa Ramanujan would meditate and he would listen to he would have all these mathematic equations come to him through meditation. This is why if you're about to do a test, you should meditate because you can access these codes or downloads because our brains are like computers. So he would meditate and he was able to find different mathematic equations, just like he was able to find the solution for a what is it, a black hole or whatnot. And NASA wasn't even invented yet, but he knew about black holes prior to NASA even being discovered. So meditation and Akashic records, accessing your mind and tapping into these frequencies, it allows you to accomplish so much. And that's all I've been trying to have people realize that our minds are probably the most powerful thing. When I said, I did a video where I was like, did you know the army is afraid of people who can meditate? Everybody laughed, but the ones who got it, got it. They understood that is, oh, yeah, the ones who didn't get it were like, oh, I could just shoot somebody. But what if I were to tell you that I foresaw these events before you even came to about this point? What if I were to tell you that I tapped into different solutions that derailed whatever outcome that you think would stop me? And
Well, and
what is
that's how the whole MK Ultra started, was because the military, knowing that people had these powers to remote vision and see things, so then they started recruiting people who could do this, so they could be like, okay, what is this country, whatever military, their military, what are they planning on doing? And then that's how the whole MK Ultra started. And then people want to act as if we don't have the power to heal ourselves, like we really can. Like Joe Dispenza literally healed himself. He was told he was never going to be able to walk again, and he heard his vertebrae broke his back and he sat there for like 6 weeks imagining his vertebrae being exactly how it had to be, putting every disc back into place, and now he's completely fine, healed himself just with his mind. We are the medicine. We have everything within us to heal ourselves. If you guys haven't watched Heal on Amazon Prime, it's a documentary. Please watch it because it's all about how to heal your mind. Like, this lady healed her stage 4 cancer, and people were like the doctors were like, oh, we must have just misdiagnosed you. And she was like, no, I just healed myself with my mind. Like, we have the power to do that. And when people are in these like really hard situations, they're like, I just don't know what to do. I've tried everything, and they're scared of the situation they're in. I'm like, have you tried not being scared and not giving it life and literally manifesting it away? I know it's crazy to think about, but you've tried everything you physically can do. So let's try something mental. Let's try meditating on it. Let's try scripting. Let's try envisioning your life without this issue. But don't even think about the issue. Think about what you want your life to be. My life is peaceful. It's joyful. I'm free. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Don't even think about like, this person's not in my life, or I am not being bothered by this. Because I tell people, when you manifest, don't write about the negativity, because your brain still sees that or hears that thing. Just completely act as if it's not even non-existent. And that's how I was able to change my life, because I was a very negative person. And I just got a compliment the other day from my coworker who was like, oh my God, I checked out your TikTok. You're so positive. I'm like, me? Positive? Never in my life have I been called positive. I was always so negative because I saw everything so negative. And now I can flip things around. And when you realize that the challenges and roadblocks that are put in your way are just for you to overcome them, that you yourself put in your way. And I know people have such a hard time with that concept of like, we chose our trauma essentially, but we did. And when you get to the other side of overcoming, you realize how strong you are. Like, literally the only way out is through. And on A Wrinkle in Time, they said the wound is where the light enters. And it's so true, because once you get to the bottom where you think it's over, once you break through and overcome that, you're like, dude, nothing can break me. Like, what else you got for me? Like, what else? Because of course the world is going to try to break you down. It's going to try to destroy you. And the point is to realize how strong you really are. Like, we are so strong, and our mental capacity has been so shortened to like, literally, I made a video where I was like, we literally use like 10% of our brain, and people were like, you don't know what you're talking about. Of course, attacking me. And I'm like, you guys can't be that ignorant to believe that we're really using all of our brain. There's so much we're not accessing, and they've calcified our third eye. Like, come on, there's so much more we could be doing. We can control literally everything with our minds, and people just refuse to accept that. And I'm like, you can be a superhero. You just have to realize that you have the power within you. You
Yep.
know, that's what I'm trying to tell people.
But they don't want to listen, and it's not. That's why I would never argue with anyone in the comments, because like I don't give into that negative energy. But Lucy is a great movie that really hits on what you're talking about. Like, while she used her mind, and I don't, if you notice how like the painting of the hands touching God at the end, it's finally she touches God, because that's when she becomes this. She made the full evolutionary cycle of what consciousness is supposed to happen. Went from this primeval state of an ape till now we are God. She's unlocking the God within her. And that's why, like, when I tell people you can manifest, your mind is very powerful. You can change your outcomes to reality if you think positive. Your mind, if you surround yourself with negative energy, negative energy kills you. Like, and it's weird how TikTok deletes those videos too, where I talked about orgone energy. That's what got me banned off of Facebook, where they're like, oh, this is false information. No, positive energy has been known to have a positive effect on sickness and illnesses. And we are all, when it comes to, like, when you know about the different, like, Western medicine looks at just this one physical body, but we have multiple bodies that we have to take care of. Your mind, your mental, all of these etheric bodies that you have to touch. And when people talk about, oh, crystals, you're just crazy, like thinking about the different crystals. Let me tell you something. When I sleep next to an amethyst crystal, my dreams become vivid. That's why amethyst, I usually wear it all the time, because for me, it's a projector. It helps me tap into different wavelengths that I'm trying to assess, especially when I'm dreaming. And for most people, it can keep them up. But for me, I can dream with amethyst, and it takes me on a journey. And that's why I sleep with a giant amethyst crystal. Like, so people look at it like, oh, Like you think about manifesting. Like I said, oh, you can manifest COVID again away. We can manifest COVID away. And guess what? When we stopped paying attention to it, what happened? You saw like the cases, like, and I'm speaking for myself because I'm on the front lines of this. When we were focused on Ukraine and all that stuff, and it wasn't just COVID, 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 my cases that we were running COVID cases almost every day. When the events in Ukraine started happening, I was on a medic and I didn't really see any COVID patients. We knew we had a PUI patient, like, and it was just like, yeah, this nothing. That's normal. Like, so what? I'm not afraid of COVID no more. And then
Yeah.
when it's like a boogeyman, when you
Right.
a boogeyman and you don't pay it attention, you're no longer scared of it. It goes away. It dissolves. Like
Exactly.
it's what was it?
Exactly.
Like I don't know how to, like I don't get why they would delete a video. Like I said, the people who know, they know. When you know about how powerful manifestation is, you know that you can overcome any obstacle, whether it be a sickness, whether it be a job, a loss in your life, something. You can manifest your own future. And like I'm assuming you're manifesting, you're saying, I'm gonna go on this social media path and it's gonna take me. You feel that. And when you feel
Yeah.
that, it
100%.
happens. And to
Yeah.
be real,
I literally have no idea where I'm going, but I'm like, I feel the universe pushing me in this direction, so I'm going to do it. When so I haven't been able to access my Akashic records because, like, I still need to get to that level of meditation that I can get there, but I did get an Akashic record reading done, like, literally a week after my video had blown up, but, they the person that did it for me didn't know this was going to happen. I had submitted my questions before I blew up. And so what's crazy is my spirit guides were like, "Hi, yes, we obviously you worked for this. You put in the work, but we let you blow up as quickly as you're blowing up to show you that you're dreaming too small. Dream bigger. You are a hard worker and a master manifester. You can have anything you want. Dream of the world you want to live in and you will make it happen." And I was like, so at the time I was so like, my mind hadn't expanded it to the point that it is now, so I was like so confused. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I don't even know what to dream for because I never thought anything would ever happen. So I was like, what do you mean I can dream for more? What else do I dream for? And then it was just like, I was like, okay, what have I always actually wanted? Like, I don't always want to work in a restaurant. What do I really want? And so then I started being like, okay, sure. At the point, they literally had me go from like 70K to 500K within like a month. And then I was like, sure, I hit 1 million. And then within like 2-3 months, I hit 1 million. I'm now at 1.1. I'm like, I've been working at this for 2 years and I was constantly getting taken down because of my content exposing the truth about stuff. And all of a sudden it just went like blue. And they were like, you can do this. Keep going. And I was like, oh, okay. So now it's like everything I write down happens. So I'm like, and I like do my vision boards and I just like speak it into existence. And I'm like, listen, they told me to dream bigger. And then I just talk to my spirit guides all the time. You know what else I wanted to tell you? You said that the Western medicine focuses on the body. I watched this TikTok video that was talking about how obviously we have our chakras and like we have been something happened with our DNA and our, through time where they've literally taken the focus off all the chakras except for our root and our sacral. Like that's it. So we're only down here. We're not focusing on anything up here. So we got to get back to focusing on that, especially the heart chakra. And I also wanted to say that I noticed that do you do any breath work?
yeah,
You know
when
what
you
breath work
meditate,
is?
like I tried.
Okay.
You remember my spot that I go to, and I just try to
Yeah.
breathe and take
I
it
love
all in.
that.
Yeah, I'm about to move from there, so I won't have that spot no more. But like, it's like that's the only thing
Oh.
I'm bitter about. Is like, dang, because
Yeah.
meditation and tapping into the akasha is like, I'd say it's like a diet. Not every diet is going to work for everybody. What works for you isn't going to work for me. So for me personally, for me to truthfully tap in, I have to be surrounded by nature, grounded. I have to feel nature because that's what makes it feel original. I have to be away from these structures, these buildings that block your shoes. They block you from receiving Earth's natural energy. These houses that we live in, they block you from receiving. Like I live in this brick apartment. So it's just like blocking everything. And that's why I want to get away from it. But when I'm in nature and I just lit my mind, we all, because my biggest question is, how do I meditate? And we all do this. Like, have you ever just drove down the street and just blacked out and you just list, like, you just let your mind just like black out and just think and just flow. And then you drive, you're like, oh, how did I get here? Like, because
Right.
you were you were in that trance of state. Now, if you take that concept and you just go somewhere that let your mind just dump itself, like I say, the key to meditation is breathing. You have to breathe and you got to count your breaths, like let it, hold it, and then let that out. So when you do that and you start focusing on your breath, and I like to just let it all out. Like, if our mind, especially when we have so much in it, we're bombarded. Like, we get so bombarded, and it's like, I like, think of it like a cloud, right? You're at the beach, right? What's your main focus is going in that water. But you see clouds at the beach and they're passing. These clouds are your thoughts, and they just pass every thought. There could be a lot of thoughts just passing. And you just focus on your main goal. You're there at the beach. You're not looking at all the clouds that are there. You're just letting them pass. But you're at the beach, and eventually it becomes sunny and there's no clouds. And you're just in that water and you're deep diving, taking in all that what the earth is giving you in from that water. Like, you weren't focused on all the clouds that passed you. You were focused, you came for the beach. You came to access these thoughts, these deeper thoughts that go way beyond the clouds. You didn't let these just take you. So I think breath work definitely helps a lot of people, like, get into that transit state where you just hold it and then let it out and then focus on that breath. Like, I said I'd get around to doing a YouTube tutorial on meditation, but and breath work and breathing and the different ways. But then I also realized, like, everybody's way is not going to work for this
Yeah.
person. Some people could just lay in a bed and meditate, while some people have to be in the upright position and then, like, take it all in. I'm in that position now, like, got my, like, legs crossed, and I'm just letting all the information flow, but I'm not doing a breathing with it. But I'm just talking and, like, just receive. Like, it's like talking to other people. I feel like sometimes you guys act like other people who are in tune and in line with you. We act as like conductors of energy. We're transferring these thoughts. That's why I said we didn't come with no script. We're just going to talk free
Mhm.
off the dome because we are on that same wavelength. Everything that you
Right.
talk about is the same thing that I talk about, whether it be a month from now. I'm pretty sure, like, when you do a TikTok video, and if you can relate to me, like, you could be driving and just like, oh, I got to talk about this. Like, it just literally hits you out of nowhere. And that's what I call the ether downloads, where it's just like, I got to talk about this. I have to talk about this and I have to get this out right now, because if I
Mhm.
don't, I don't know, I'm going to go crazy, because you just get bombarded with these thoughts. And I can
Oh,
tell.
that was me in Vegas. I went to Vegas for my first time ever on July 4th. I swear a portal opened up and it was like right before July 5th with CERN. And dude, the amount of downloads, like if you watch my videos while I was in Vegas, that was when the Georgia Guidestones blew up. And the downloads that I was getting, I was like malfunctioning. Like I couldn't get the words out in my videos. I was like, it was like so much information that was coming to me. And so my stories on Instagram, I was posting them on there because I was like, dude, I'm getting information from everything. Like I have to get it out right now. I don't know what to do. So I posted them on, they're in my Instagram highlights under downloads, because I was like, I can't keep up with the amount of information I'm getting. And I had asked my followers that. I'm like, are you guys like getting a ton of fucking downloads right now? It was so intense. And that was before I even knew about everything. Obviously, that happened. Obviously, the Hoover Dam happened after. So that's when I started getting into the whole history of the Hoover Dam, and then finding out, like, I'm like, there's definitely something going on in Vegas that we should be paying attention to. That's why they want to keep you trapped in the strip. And so then I started digging more into Vegas, and somebody commented, was like, why are you so obsessed with Vegas? I'm like, there's obviously something there that we should be looking into. But what I wanted to say about the breath work. So I made a video yesterday about ayahuasca, and some people are like, oh, if we can't do ayahuasca because of, like, you know, medication they're on or whatever, do you have any other suggestions? And I said, try breath work. Start with breath work, because that's just you, right? I noticed that I wasn't getting not even one single like on my comment about that. And I'm like, don't fucking tell me TikTok is hiding this because of breath work. So of course I have my backup account. So I went on there and I noticed they have the word blocked. They do not let you write breath work. At least not me. I don't know about anybody else. It won't let me write breath work as one word. It won't let me write breath work as two words separate. It won't let me write breath work with a period in between breath and work. The only way it actually showed up was if I wrote breath work with a 0 instead of an O on work. That is the only way, because they find different ways to ban words, and you have to find every little rendition of it. That's the only way I was ever going to write breath work. So I had to write breath work, breath, period, work with a 0. That's the only way that TikTok. I'm like, okay, so obviously TikTok knows what's going on, and that breath work is extremely important and will let you reach higher levels of meditation and of self-healing and everything. And they don't want people to know that. I was like, okay, definitely making a video about this now.
Well,
If they're trying to hide it.
it's I know you notice, like, anytime TikTok tries to suppress information, that information is powerful. Just like you can't use the hashtag DMT, you can't use psychedelics.
We lost your sound again. Hold on. Oh, Astro 5D said,
Hold
I've
up.
talked about playing in the background and wanted to add this book, The Hindu Yogi Science of Breath, 1903, Yogi Ramachakra. I did breath work for the first time right before ayahuasca. And I mean, my first night with ayahuasca, I didn't feel anything, but the breath work sent me to like, oh, dude, that shit was amazing. And I tell people all the time, like, go follow the guy that like I did the breath work with, because it was, he didn't know anything about breath work until he did ayahuasca. And the medicine showed him how to guide people to do this breath work to unlock so much trauma that people have been suppressing. And like, everyone that goes to his sessions are just like crying and yelling. It's literally like doing any of these psychedelics, plant medicine, but just with your own breath. It's insane. And so every time I'm like, oh, this is the master, he's like, no, you are the master, you are the medicine, we all are the medicine, and I'm like, okay, got it. Oh, I still can't hear you.
Okay, now you can hear me. So what I was
Okay.
saying, like, I'm probably gonna have to head out pretty soon. But when it comes to like these quantum healing sessions, I'll be doing a past life regression session next week, but it incorporates a lot of breath work, and it hits on what you just said because it uncovers that trauma from past lives, childhoods, and it's I'm gonna like do a whole. I'm not gonna do it live. I'm gonna record some of the sessions because it's gonna be a long session, but breath work is important, and TikTok knows this. Whenever, like what I was getting ready to say, whenever they try to suppress something, dig deeper into that. It's like a book. Whenever there's a book that's suppressed, that's the book that you need to be looking into. So there are certain hashtags, there are certain things that TikTok suppresses because they don't want the information out there. And shoot, if we get banned because of this live, who knows? Like
Yeah,
they're gatekeepers. They are
they're
gatekeepers. That's exact.
they they banned my live ones for saying that this app hides people of color, and they banned me. I was like, well, for calling you out that you're fucking racist. I've made like 3 videos talking about this documentary on Hulu, the New York Times presents Who Gets to Be an Influencer, talking about how Black influencers do not get the same type of exposure than white influencers. And I've been trying to get the word out to people to watch this documentary so they can understand what this app is doing, and they will hide the video every single time. No views. I'm like, it's so frustrating. I'm like, we see what you're doing. We know what you're doing. You're trying to fucking control the narrative.
With me, like, I used to think like, oh, I'd be like kind of like I had a good message and it didn't get out there, and then I had to learn, like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Those who will find the message will find it, and guess what? You found the message from one of my videos, and then now you are this big time influencer, and you are going to start your journey to continue to spread the message. And honestly, that alone makes me feel good because it feels like my work is almost done because I got someone who's going to carry the torch and spread all the knowledge around the world. That was the seed I'm trying to plant. I don't
Right.
care if I go viral. I need someone that's going to deliver the same message that I wanted to get out there. And you're doing a fantastic job. So this won't be our last live. I know we'll do another live video soon. I
For
enjoyed
sure.
talking to you, but I got to roll out. But
Thank you so
take care.
much.
Keep spreading the positive information, keep spreading the light, and the universe will always guide us to where we're supposed to go. The messages at the end of the day will always find whoever.
Yes, I'm so excited for you and your move, and I hope you share it with us because I would love to see your journey.
I will. And we'll be keeping up with each other's journey because like you're doing what everybody should be doing. Get off this matrix, screw the 9 to 5, screw the lifestyle that you're told you're supposed to live. Live off the grid. Do you make your
Yeah,
own path? That's
that's
how
right.
the universe flows. Take care.
Yep, exactly. Bye.
Good talk.
All right, guys, I'm gonna stay on here for a little bit because I do want to answer some questions. Somebody asked me who is the breathwork guy. His name is Vitality on Instagram. I don't know how to get rid of his thing. Disconnect. Okay, so his name is Vitality. It's Witality. He's the one that does breath work. He's the one that I did breath work for ayahuasca. He's amazing. He travels. He actually just kind of went on his tour. So he's taking a break now. I'll probably be seeing him next week during my ayahuasca retreat. Definitely check him out if you guys are interested in doing breath work. Like, people have said they've done other breathwork sessions and nothing was like doing breathwork with him, and I really do think it's because the plant medicine told him, like, guided him and told him how to do it to get to the that point where you essentially are releasing DMT in your brain just with your own breath. So definitely check him out. Yes, definitely go watch A Wrinkle in Time. That movie blew my mind. I will definitely be making a video breaking down what everything represents and how it resonated with me, because I know not everyone will feel the same way. And let me see. Hold on, somebody wants to go on.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm chilling. I'm having a grand old time over here. We're all having a great time over here.
Great. What's up? Just want to jump on?
Jump on, hang out, I'll do a couple lab battles, meet some new people.
Oh, okay. Well, I actually have to get off. I didn't know what you want to talk about, but I have to answer some questions for my followers, so I'm gonna have to disconnect. Sorry.
All right, no problem.
But thanks.
Have a good day.
Okay, so, sorry. I know, like, people go on these battles, and I'm like, that's not what I'm doing here. I'm trying to answer questions. Okay, so Vitality, that's his Instagram name. What else were people asking me about? Okay, Heal on Amazon Prime. If you guys have Amazon Prime, watch that. Heal, it's about how to heal yourself with just your mind. Look up Joe Dispenza. He also talks about how to heal your mind. He's the one, he'll be on that documentary. What else was the other thing? Wrinkle in Time, Heal, Everything Everywhere All at Once, amazing movie. The Hulu documentary is called The New York Times Presents Who Gets to Be an Influencer, and I believe it's episode 6, I think. It's on Hulu, Who Gets to Be an Influencer, and it talks about how pretty much Black creators don't get the same type of acknowledgement or exposure than white creators. So I've been trying to talk about this documentary for so long for people who want to know what's going on, and like nobody freaking, like, this freaking app keeps hiding me. What platform is Wrinkle in Time on? It's Disney, so it's on Disney Plus, unfortunately. I'm guessing you guys, if you have any I don't know, streaming apps, like, there's like the streaming apps where you can just stream like any show or movie, like, illegally. They'll have it on there too. Oh yeah, Gaia is also great. I love Gaia. I know people try to be like, Gaia's propaganda, blah blah blah, and I'm like, if you think Gaia's propaganda, you can't possibly think that literally everything else that's on TV isn't propaganda, because Gaia's just trying to like tell us something different than what we've been told. I think Gaia's great. I love watching stuff on there. There's a lot of history stuff on there that has to do with ancient civilizations, but it also talks a lot about like cosmic disclosure, which, you know, that's JK Ultra's like favorite show. Every time I watch it, I think of her. She likes to reference that a lot in her stuff. Oh my god, Mother. I made a video about Mother. Favorite fucking movie. Love Mother. Honestly, Mother was like my favorite movie up until I watched A Wrinkle in Time, and now I think A Wrinkle in Time might be my favorite movie. And again, not everyone is going to understand A Wrinkle in Time. I watched it with my friend who thought it was the dumbest movie ever. Obviously, it got horrible reviews. The people who get it will get it. The people who don't, and that's okay. The movie will find you, and you will understand it when you're meant to. You know what I'm saying? So, the movies are not on Netflix, but definitely watch Unexplained on Netflix with William Shatner. I've been watching that, and dude, that is awesome show. It talks about everything that I've been talking about in my videos. Highly recommend watching Unexplained on Netflix with William Shatner. Last night I watched a few episodes. It talked about the lightning. It talked about what else did it talk about? Lightning. It talked about HARP. It talks about the brain, like so many studies done on the brain and how they like can't figure out, like, you know, the brain is just so complicated for people to understand. So somebody asked, can you give us update on your job search? Well, I'm not going to be working for the man anymore. I'm going to be working for myself. So my plan is to pursue this, my social media. I will be working more on making longer videos now that I have the time. I'm going to be making my YouTube videos. As you guys know, my ayahuasca experience video is on YouTube. It's like, I think it's like 4 hours long. And I really want to deep dive into stuff like I still haven't talked about my Cambo experience. I haven't talked about my Bufo experience. I haven't talked about my LSD experience. I'm doing ayahuasca again next week. There's so much that I have to cover, and I just haven't had the time because I would be working. And then it's like, I had cut my days down to 3 days at work within like the last, I would say, month, and that still wasn't enough for me, because I'm like, dude, that's 3 days that I'm taking away from being able to create content, because I also want to keep up with my TikTok stuff too. And I'm gonna start doing Patreon. So I was like, I'm just gonna have to quit my job and just focus on this stuff. And it just feels like it's time, you know, it really does feel like it's time to move forward. I was serving for 17 years, and I just feel like serving was a part of like the old me, the old book, and now I'm on a new book. So yeah, I do have my Patreon. I'll be announcing everything once I get everything in order. As you guys know, I do have my merch up on alexsurfs.com, and this is one of my shirts. It says Finding My Way Back Home. I also have an overall galaxy look that says Finding My Way Back Home. I have hoodies. I have my Time is an Illusion merch. So I have shirts in like every color plus hoodies with that. I also have The World Ended in 2020, which looks like a newspaper, shirt and hoodies as well. So I have that, and then I have a Crumble Capitalism shirt too. So if you guys are interested, those are all on alexsurfs.com. I just do want to let you know that the company that makes my clothes did raise their prices for us, because we have to pay it out of pocket pretty much before it gets sent out to you guys. So they raised the prices for us, so then we had to raise our prices because we're already only making like $5 or $10, and then they raised their prices because of inflation. So I'm like, okay, great, now I have to raise my prices again, because otherwise I'd be making like $3. So I had to raise them just so I could make at $5 to $10 a shirt. It's so ridiculous. Their profit is insane, but I mean, it's made here, so it's like, you also can't really get mad, because it's like, well, it's not being shipped from fucking China or something, you know? So because it's made here, it kind of sucks. But it's up on my my site, alexservice.com, if you guys want to check it out. What else? I will be posting my all of this lives. I've done a live with Chelsea when she was coming out of the spiritual closet. I've done a live with Natalie. We were talking, she's like a Syrian starseed, and now I have this one. So I will be posting these on my YouTube and on my podcast. I do also have my podcast, Alex Serves It All, on Spotify and Apple. Like, I'm kind of just like doing everything. So, oh my God, E.T. Among Us, amazing. Yes. Well, I thought it was Gods Among Us. Yeah, it's E.T. Among Us. There's like 4 of them, I think. I've talked about that too on my videos. I've told people to watch those because, dude, those are so crazy. They like literally interviewed these people who have been abducted by aliens. A Wrinkle in Time is a Disney movie. Yes. Knowing. Have I watched Knowing? I don't know. Melissa, did you want to hop on real quick if you're available to tell your story? If not, we need to plan that too. Melissa had an ET experience that she wants to share, so we want to plan a live to do that as well. I don't think I've seen The Knowing. How was my first day of freedom? Amazing. Well, you know, it's only 11 here. I just got up to do this live. We had a blackout last night, so there was a blackout like in some places over by me around like 9 p.m. and I wasn't home, but I was like, oh no, like I hope our power's not still working. Thankfully, when I got on, here, let me see if I can. No, I can't invite you. I think you have to request to like co-host, I think. I think you have to request to come on. Because multi-guest are people that are live right now. I don't like that. I don't like when like people are live and then ask me to go live with them, because like they're live, and so they're talking about whatever they want to talk about, and then they don't know what I'm talking about when they jump on. Do I eat plant-based? No. I had somebody ask me that because on my Instagram story, I was out the other night and I had shown a video of what I was eating, and there was I wasn't eating it, but people had asked, like, or people had ordered shrimp, and I had taken a video of it, and people were like, wait, so you're not, I don't know how to add you, Melissa. I'm trying. There should be a way that you can send a request, because I've gotten people sending requests before. Do any of you guys see it anywhere? Do any of you guys see request on multi-guest? Yeah. Do you guys see anywhere? Let me see. Or I can invite her. I don't see you on my invites either. So I pushed multi, it says access needed. Let me see how I'm gonna follow you and see. Okay, so it's because you have a private account. I don't think you can go live on a private, and I just requested to follow you back. So oh my God, I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten yet. So anyway, so I went out to dinner, and the people that I was with ordered shrimp, and so I took a video of it, and people were like, oh my God, are you not like vegan or vegetarian? And I was like, no. And they're like, but you're spiritual. I'm like, so? And they're like, oh, I thought you like had to do that. I was like, no, you don't have to. If your body is called to do it, you know, we'll do it. And Dolores Cannon does say that, like, you know, eventually everyone will become like such light bodies. Like, our body's not even gonna need food when we're in the fifth density, pretty much. But you know, there are people who are still going to be called to eat, you know, meat or whatever. I don't eat pork, and I don't eat bottom feeders. So I was like, oh, I didn't order the shrimp. I was just taking a video of it. But I don't eat that stuff, but I still eat, like, I don't eat vegan or vegetarian my religion when I grew up was very vegan or vegetarian, and that's just like not the path for me. I know everyone like thinks like, oh, if you're, you know, if you're spiritual, you got to cut everything out. And I'm like, maybe at some point, but like, you just do what your body tells you to do. If your body's just like asking for meat, then your body needs it. Like, your body will just tell you which way to go. You know what I'm saying? So people do say it does help on the spiritual journey. People have told me to go vegan for like at least 30 days. They say that it really does heighten the downloads. It does like help you in the ascension process. So like, you don't have to permanently go vegan. Last time that I did ayahuasca, I did do the vegan diet for a little bit because I fasted and stuff because I wanted to be like as clean as possible for my trip. And now I'm doing ayahuasca again next week, so I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna fast or am I gonna do the vegan thing again. I think I have to pretty much do the vegan like at least the day before ayahuasca, like 24 hours before. I'm not supposed to eat. Like, I pretty much have to be vegan for that day. And then I have to stop eating like a certain amount of hours before ayahuasca. I think maybe 12 hours or something. Hold on. Melissa said she changed her stuff. I don't know. When I went to pescatarian years ago, it was like the fog was lifted spiritually, completely changed. Yeah. So a lot of people do say that it does help. It does help for sure, like your ascension process, or like to kind of see through the veil kind of thing. Or fasting really works as well. You can do a water fast. Dude, I'm trying to find you, Melissa. Like, I don't understand why you can't request me. It says, yeah, you don't have live access. I don't know why. But for me, food is fuel. If I don't have food, I'm like gonna die. Like, I'm gonna pass out. I have no energy. I get super cranky. Like, I am not the person you want to be around when there's no food. Okay. Like, I wake up hungry. I go to bed hungry. Yeah, you guys are saying she doesn't have live. Oh, she needs 1,000 followers. Dang, that sucks. Melissa, we're gonna have to figure something else out. I might, like, what I want to do anyway is pretty much probably just do like Zoom calls, because I want to put these on my YouTube anyway, so we can go ahead and just set something up to do that later on. So sorry about that. You can set your profile back to private if you want. But yeah, so for me, it's like, I just need the food. Like, when I was younger, my mom, my mom still loves to fast. If she could, she would fast every single day of her life. And so when I was younger, my mom would like kind of force me into fasting, because she'd be like, well, if you have something you're praying about, or you want God to answer your prayers or something, like, fast, and then he'll answer you, because he'll see how, because I'm like, dude, I don't want to fast. Like, I need food. I'm so hungry. And then she'd just be like, well, it's a sacrifice. So then God will see like how much you want it. So you should definitely do it. And I'm just like, I don't want to. I'm like, I miss like one meal and I'm gonna die. So I'm not a fan of fasting. If I do like even just 24 hours, I'm literally gonna die. Like, I need food. I'm a Taurus. I need food, and I need meat, either chicken, fish, or like red meat. I'm not eating as much, but I still love steaks. So I'm just on a different journey. I know that people say that it helps, and I'm sure that it does. Whenever I'm called to do it, I'll do it, but I'm not the type of person that's gonna force myself into doing something just because everybody else says that I should do it. I think you guys should know that by now. I don't listen to anybody. So whenever my body tells me to do it, then I'll do it, but I'm not gonna force myself, because I will be very cranky and very angry, and I do not like that. Taurus gang, yeah. What is the new moon? Dude, can we talk about the moon for a second? Because somebody sent me a picture of 2 moons. And fucking thought I saved the photo and now I cannot find it. But somebody said that they saw 2 moons and they sent me a picture of 2 moons right next to each other. One was super, super, super bright. It looked like a light bulb. And then the other one just looked like the moon. But you could tell they were the same shape. So you could tell that they were both the moon, but there were 2 different moons. It was crazy. And as we know, we've also been seeing 2 suns. So I think we're definitely, you know, into the whole new earth thing for sure. At least it's shifting into it. May not 100% be there yet. Have you seen the dragon videos? No, I don't know what the dragon videos are. I'm gonna get off in like 10 minutes because I really need to dye my hair today. Look at these roots, guys. Look at these roots. So I gotta dye my hair today, and I do need to eat. I'm starving. Speaking of, I'm so hungry. I'm always hungry, guys. I will always be hungry. Did I watch Free Guy? Yes. Also, definitely recommend watching Free Guy. You guys should watch, okay? You guys should watch Truman Show, Free Guy, The Matrix. If you have Apple TV, watch Severance. Amazing. Oh my god, I haven't seen Moonfall yet. Everybody keeps telling me to watch Moonfall. And Sandman. Everybody keeps telling me. Wait, is Sandman the... Which one's Sandman? Because I don't know if I've seen it yet. Did Melissa disappear? I think Melissa's still here, but I didn't realize that she didn't have enough followers for us to go live together. So we're going to have to plan it outside of this. I know it's on Netflix, but what is it about? Because... Is it a horror movie? Oh, it's a show. Okay, never mind. Okay. I don't think we're going to be able to go live, Melissa, because you don't have enough followers. The Guy Who Fell to the Earth, people have been telling me to watch that too. What is that on? So it looks like it had a portal. Yeah, we'll have to figure something else out for sure. I don't... yeah, we'll figure it out. I'll probably have to do like a Zoom thing. Let's see. Unacknowledged on Hulu. Haven't seen that. Tips for manifesting during Lionsgate. So I've been manifesting. Okay, so you guys, some of you know, I do have my manifestation journal. So this is my manifestation journal, which I love. I think the message on it is great. It says, finding yourself is not really how it works. You aren't a $10 bill in last winter's coat pocket. You are also not lost. Your true self is right there, buried under cultural conditioning, other people's opinions, and inaccurate conclusions you drew as a kid that became your beliefs about who you are. Finding yourself is actually returning to yourself and unlearning and excavation and remembering who you were before the world got its hands on you. So that's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, figure out who you were before the world got its hands on you and made you into who you are today, because we are a product of our environment. So if we don't really know who we are until we're all alone, then we can really figure out who we are. You know what I'm saying? So I love this. This is my manifestation journal, and on the inside I wrote manifestation station. If you can dream it, you can have it. Anything and everything is possible. And then I write my manifestation as if they already happened. I try to do it like a overall manifestation a couple times a month. So I did like February 7th, February 12th. I did a lot in February, which was manifesting, you know, for like TikTok and stuff like that. So I tried to do that, and the last one I did was July 21st. So I really need to do one for August. So I'm gonna do that. But that's my manifestation journal that I do for I kind of like split it up into little parts of what I want to do, and then I write it as if it already happened. Now for the Lionsgate portal, and also, so this is my vision board for 2020. I drew this on, where's the date? I don't know. I just wrote June 2020. So this is my vision board that I drew for before I moved to San Diego. So I'm not good like on the computer or anything. So obviously I was like, I'm gonna just draw it out. So I drew everything that I wanted. So here I have San Diego, and then I wrote like success, and then I put how much I wanted to be making, you know, all the stuff here. I put love, I put like what I wanted in a relationship. I drew this, and like right when I moved to San Diego, I got in a relationship and it was literally just like this. And then I did money, and then I put this that says like funny, viral, positive video, which I did go viral, new beginnings, new whatever friends and stuff. And so here I drew the apartment, like not exactly the apartment I wanted. I just wanted all these things for our apartment for my sister and I wanted to make sure we had like 2 assigned parking spots because we didn't want to deal with street parking. I said like how much I wanted the rent to be. I said like where I wanted it to be located, like all this stuff, and then I drew it. And the crazy thing is that this is our second apartment, and both apartments are the exact same layout with even the laundry room in the middle, which my sister was like, next time you draw a vision board, can you please not do the laundry room right in the middle of the house, because both times we've had the laundry room right in the middle of the house because you drew it that way. So this is my vision board for 2020. I drew everything that I wanted and everything came true. I have my vision board for 2021, which also came true so far. I can show it to you guys if you want. And I also have, I'll show you guys, okay, hold on. I'm gonna show you guys, this is the vision board I made at ayahuasca. I don't know how to flip my camera. Sorry, I have no idea how to flip my camera over. Hold on. I know there's a way to flip this. I feel like such a grandma. I'm like, how do I flip this again? I thought there was a flip button and now I can't find it. Push enhance. Thank you. Flip camera. Okay. This is my vision board that I did during ayahuasca. So I put this at the top, which is my chakras and meditation, and then the only way out is through. So that was at the very top. And then over here I put travel the world, and I put Greece because I really do want to travel to Greece, and waterfalls because I really want to go to like the rainforest. And then over here I put follow your dreams, creativity, when you believe anything is possible. We are all connected. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. And then over here I put like the money stuff, blessed, abundance. And then talent is luck. The important thing in life is courage, speak up, brave, boundaries. And I put a butterfly. And then this is the card I pulled. There was like a stack of cards that we could pull. And I pulled the sacred site purpose, and like it was on point for me. It pretty much said like going back to sacred sites will like remind you of who you are and like your pretty much like your history kind of thing, right? So this is the one I made at ayahuasca. We had like a little session doing this on Saturday afternoon. It was really cool. August 13th through 15, Mars exact trine to Pluto, good for manifesting. Yeah, I've been manifesting a lot during these few days. Let me flip this so you guys don't see the freaking mess in my room so that I can grab my 2021 vision board that I drew. Sorry, hold on, let me grab it. Okay, so my room's not really a mess. I just threw everything on my bed. Okay, so let me flip this again. So this is my vision board for 2021. There's my body. Okay, so, or 2022. Oh my gosh. Wait, did I do it for 2021? I think I like let 2020 transfer on to 2021. Okay, so self-love, money comes to me in abundance. And I did this, and like honestly, like TikTok, YouTube sponsors I have no idea what this is. PC. I can't. Anyway, I put that my student loans were forgiven because, like, I'm not paying that. New friends and my podcast, which I did start. My eyelashes have definitely gotten better because they were, like, really not looking great. Capitalism crumbles. Rent control strike. I put my body. I put self-growth. Be the change. My merch, which I got that together, artistic. These are like partnerships that I was working with, brand deals. And then right here, as a joke, I put 500K followers because at the time I had like 60. And I was like, oh yeah, like that's not going to happen, but let's dream big. Yeah. And then I put like positive, educational, shown on For You page all the time, blessings. And then I put my hair because I wanted my hair to grow longer. And obviously it did because that's why I have to do my roots now. And yeah, this is my vision board for 2022, which is all come true as well. So I did this on January 16th, 2022. So I definitely recommend vision boards, like whatever you are, sorry, I have to put this back on my, whatever you're good at, like if you're good at doing things on Canva or, you know, if you want to draw that out, whatever, do whatever works best for you. What shadow book do you recommend? Oh wait, hold on. Before I go into like the shadow book, this is the one that I've been using for my manifestations during the Lionsgate portal. And I've been writing them twice a day. I was planning on doing it 3 times a day, but I've been like busy, so I've just been writing them twice a day. So I just write. I've been writing 7, and that's like this morning's, and then I just write them again. And so I write like mine were like, I'm living on the new earth, I'm living my dream life, money comes to me in abundance, like I can afford anything and everything that I want, I have all of my heart's desires, like I'm a motivation and inspiration for others, I'm highly blessed, favored, divinely guided, I'm so grateful. And then I say I am living on my best possible timeline, because obviously I want to make sure I'm living on my best possible timeline. So I've been writing that for the Lionsgate portal. Usually I wouldn't do my manifestations on here. In here I can just journal about stuff. Like I've been doing hypnotherapy and I journal after, or I journaled after Cambo, but that one I didn't have my journal with me, so I just did that electronically on my phone. And yeah, I just did that on there because I like my setup for my manifestation journal, and I didn't want it to get like messed up. And then I'll show you guys the shadow work journal that I use is this one. The shadow work journal, it's like $15 on Amazon. My sister said I should create my own shadow work journal so I can stop promoting other people's shadow work journals. I was like, maybe one day I will. But this is the shadow work journal, and so it really helped me with my shadow work because it literally says in the, right when you open it, it says, unless you learn to face your own shadows, you will continue to see them in others, because the world outside of you is only a reflection of the world inside of you. And it's very, very true. So I highly recommend doing shadow work. Shadow work isn't easy, but it's really, I always tell people it's like the first step to really, shadow work is so important along with your inner child. And really that's what shadow work is all about. It's really getting into, it's facing your shadows and going back to your inner child. So the good thing is that it will give you, I like how it is because it gives you like prompts, so it's like, I always feel like I am the blank one. Blank is how I manage to escape. Blank brings me peace. I am so tired of blank and blank, but excited about blank and blank, so it makes you think, it makes you think about stuff. I want to try to blank so that I can finally blank. For some reason, I always end up blank. I deserve blank and blank. And then, you can reflect on how the paragraph you have created above and write this down, any observations. So it's really interesting now looking back on this. I wish I would have written down the dates that I did this. and my dumbass didn't, because literally right in the front, hold on, like literally I skipped over this, and I shouldn't have, because now I don't remember when I started my shadow work. And it literally said, there was a part that said right here, I should have done this and I didn't do it. So it says I blank signature, start date, and completion date, and I didn't fill this out. I skipped straight to the prompts, and now I don't remember when I started my shadow work journal. And it's really interesting to go back and like read your stuff and how far you've come when you do the shadow work journal, for sure. I haven't finished it. So there's parts where, you know, it just gives you, it's like a workbook. But then there's parts where it gives you like kind of journal entries. So journal prompts. And so you go through and it'll ask about fear. Like, what do you fear? And then you write, you know, your part down, or putting yourself last, and you go and do that. Inspiration, and you do that. So I've done a few of those. I'm halfway through that. So I just got to childhood, so I got to do that. And then there's a lot of different prompts. As you can see, I haven't completely finished, but I definitely want to. And then once you get through the journal prompts, it takes you back to getting to the root of your shadow, and then it has more stuff to fill out. So I haven't completed it because I feel like, I think it'll be interesting to go through and like see where I started and see where I finish. You know, shadow work, it's constant work that you're doing, and it doesn't just happen overnight. So it's really important to just keep working on yourself all the time. So I like to keep that. This is my friend's backpack that I take to the park with me, so that I can, you know, journal and do my shadow work stuff. So that is on Amazon. It's just called the Shadow Work Journal. Is journaling the best way to do shadow work? So you guys can look up, like there's people on YouTube that talk about shadow work. I looked up a lot. I don't even remember how I got into the whole shadow work thing, but I was like, I think I need to do shadow work. I really want to do shadow work. And I was like on YouTube, like, how do I do shadow work? And people were like, it's not easy, it's hard, you gotta face your demons, you gotta dig deep. And I was like, I don't know how to do this on my own. Like, I need guidance. So I told my sister, I was like, I really want to do like shadow work, I just don't know how to do it. And so she got me that journal, and that really did help. Do I ever think about writing a book of all the things I know? A lot of people have told me that I should write a book. And also a part of what I want to do now with the time that I have in pursuing my social media is I do want to hold like, I guess they would be classes of like what I know, you know, just sharing all this information with people. As of right now, everything has been free, but eventually, like, because now this is going to be a career for me, you know, I am going to have to start charging for stuff. So that, 333, I looked up at my follower count right when I said that. I am gonna have to start charging for stuff, especially if people want to know like more of the deeper stuff too. And we can really get into it. I really want to do like discussions. Oh my gosh, Tom, if you're in here, thank you for buying my merch. My merch is up on alexserves.com if anybody is interested. So yeah, people have been asking me to do classes. Like, can you create, I do have a Patreon account. I will be talking about it once I have everything more together. I am working with someone who's helping me organize and come up with a plan, like a business manager. He's helping me out. It's, you know, I tell you, like, the universe really is on your side. My best friend's husband is like a business manager, and he was like, I really want to help you. So he's helping me for free, which is amazing. So he's helping me out. Organize my thoughts, because I just have so many ideas all over the place. So I really need to organize my thoughts, organize all of my ideas, and figure out how I can go about this, and what do I want to share with you guys. Like, I also need to know, like, what do you guys want to learn about, because I kind of talk about so much different stuff, you know, like I talk about like the Hoover Dam, and then I talk about like the Freemasons, and I talk about, you know, manifestation, and I talk about dreams, and I talk about the new earth, and I talk about like self-healing, inner child. Like, I'm kind of like just like a big book of so many different things. So yeah, I guess it would be kind of like a workshop, but I don't really exactly know how to go about it. So yeah, and then family trauma too. Family trauma is really gonna help if you're up for it too. Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna be talking about trauma, because I've been through trauma as well and still going through it. I think like it's so crazy because my whole life I've just been so open about who I am, and I was always told to not be so open about who I am and be private, and I didn't like it. I wanted to be able to share my experiences with people because I think that that's how we help each other. And I was always very open. I didn't have a filter. I don't think that things are a big deal. I think that people make things into a big deal. I don't think there's any reason to hide who you are. I don't think you should ever be ashamed of who you are. Thank you. I don't think you should ever be ashamed of who you are. And I didn't like how I was made to feel ashamed for having certain thoughts or different thoughts or than what I was supposed to be thinking. So every time people told me like, oh, you talk too much, or you're too loud, or you don't need to be saying this or saying that, and it's like I know that I am this way for a reason. Like, I shouldn't have to conform to society's standards. And I used to get really angry because I was like, dude, like, can I just please be me and you guys just fucking accept it? Like, why do I have to change myself just because it's my personality is making you guys uncomfortable? I'm not hurting anyone. I just want to be open and talk to people, and I was always being shut down. So now the fact that like I can finally like say this and like people are accepting, I'm like, I knew that I was this way for a reason. I knew that God didn't make me this way just to then condemn me for it. Like, I know that God sent me here with a purpose. So I knew that being told to like dim my light pretty much, like, no, I don't want to dim my light. I want to speak my truth. Like, I want to say what I want to say. And so when I finally was just like, I really don't give a shit. I mean, I never did give a shit, but when I finally cut out the people who kept telling me to give a shit, I was like, I don't care. I'm just going to share everything. Because I think like sharing our experiences makes us more connected, and we need that connection with other people, because I felt alone when I didn't have a connection with other people who I could share my experiences with any trauma that I was going through. So I was like, dude, I have to just sit here and like keep all this shit internally. Like, how is that helping anyone? Like, I can't talk about this stuff. And then like going to a therapist also, I feel like is kind of a scam, to be honest. Like, I do think that people need therapy sometimes, but like I also think that we can learn from each other. Like, we can literally share our experiences with each other and see what helps, because I feel like therapists, especially like if you're not a spiritual therapist, you just kind of just want to take people's money and you just want them to come back week after week. Like, I've seen people going to therapy for 20 years and like they haven't progressed. So I'm just like, okay, so what's the point? You're wasting like $200 a session. I think sharing our experiences with each other really helps us grow and really helps us like realize that we can overcome these things. And it really just helps us learn from each other. Like, hey, this is what happened. This is what happened to me. This is what helped me. If it helps you, you should definitely try it. If not, see if somebody else has a better solution. I think that we really just need to connect to each other, because that's how we help each other. Like, that's why they say like it takes a village. It really does take a village. Like in ancient civilizations, they all just came together and worked together as one. And I was watching last night on Unexplained about civilizations that just kind of went missing into thin air. And I believe that they ascended. So of course it talked about the Mayas, which, by the way, it's not the Mayans. Mayan is the language. They're called the Mayas. So the Mayas, they talk about them. They built their community. They had their calendar. They predicted the time, and then all of a sudden they were gone. It talked about other civilizations as well that I don't remember the names. Marc0n0Pol0, he was on until about 40 minutes ago. But I will be posting the live on my YouTube and on my podcast. It talked about these ancient civilizations that went off, built a community, built homes, like structures and everything, and then they just left. Like, nobody knows where they went. Their clothes were all left behind. They just disappeared off the face of the planet. And I'm like, they ascended. And that's what we're about to do. We all need to come together and build these communities, and then we'll fucking ascend. And that's what Dolores Cannon says. She says people will, like, the earth is going to split, and people are going to just be like, oh, I guess they just died. Like, we don't know what happened to them, but we'll be gone to another dimension while they're still here. Talking about the ancient civilizations that have just disappeared into thin air. And it's not just one, it's happened multiple times over time. If you guys haven't watched it, definitely watch Unexplained with William Shatner on Netflix. Like, every episode is so good of that show. Definitely check it out. And when is the split? I think that the split will happen by 2030. I think, because 2030 is when the looking glass can't see past. So I think 2030 will give people enough time to make the change. Some people think it'll happen 2024, 2025. I think it'll happen by 2030 because of the looking glass, but we'll see. I don't know. The point is, I'm ready to go. And when I got my Akashic record reading done, I asked my spirit guides, you know, will I enter the new earth? And they said, we laugh at this question because you've already entered it. You're just creating it. But just know that that's the path you're headed towards, and that's where you're going to end up. And I was like, oh my God. So like, that's why I don't worry, because I'm like, dude, my spirit guides already let me know that I am well on my way to the new earth. I'm in the new earth already. I'm just creating it as we speak. So that's why I'm so adamant about speaking out about the new earth. And I know people want to give me shit on it and are like, they're just clouds. Like, you never looked up. And it's like, bro, there's so much more happening in the spiritual realm and the astral realm that you guys refuse to acknowledge. That's like, if you want to stay asleep, stay asleep. Or if you want to stay in this timeline, stay in this timeline. I don't give a fuck. I'm talking to the people who want to move on to this new earth with me. So let's talk about it. Because the more we talk about the positive stuff that's happening and the more we raise the vibrations, the faster this shit happens. You know what I'm saying? So like, they say the earth is spinning faster. Well, the earth is spinning faster because our vibrations are raising. But also, like, time isn't real. You know what I'm saying? So how do we connect to our spirit guides? So it was hard with me because I didn't understand it. So I got my Akashic record reading done, and they were like, hey, they told like the person that did my Akashic record was like, they pretty much through her said like that I need to be more open to talking to my spirit guides. And I'm like, I don't even know what spirit guides are. Like, I had no idea. So it was just like, what? I've only known of like talking to God, right? And I refused to like talk about spirit guides or the universe or anything because I was like, I don't know what this is. It's like weird. And after so many years of like programming and brainwashing and manipulation, it's hard to break out of it, right? So but then I kept constantly getting messages from other people being like, hey, your spirit guides talked to me and they wanted me to tell you this. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And it was like multiple people kept coming up to me, like not coming up to me, but messaging me and being like, hey, your spirit guides came through to me and told me this and that. And I'm like, okay. And one of them was, your spirit guide said that you need to focus more on your heart chakra. And I kept getting that message. I need to focus on my heart chakra. And you need to talk to your spirit guides. They want to reach out to you, but you have to ask for them. So if you guys watch A Wrinkle in Time, the misses are the spirit guides. They're representative of the spirit guides. If you guys are going to watch the movie as if the girl's dad is representative of God, the girl's mom is representative of the earth, Mother Nature, Mama Gaia, whatever. The misses are the spirit guides, and Oprah's character is the universe. Look at everything is symbolism, okay? Everything is symbology. So look at it like that, and you guys will understand the movie better, okay? I'll definitely do a video breaking down what everything represents, because I did that with Mother as well, because people didn't understand Mother either. Look at it like that, and it'll make more sense. A Wrinkle in Time blew my fucking mind. But the misses are representative of the spirit guides. And so they cannot help you if you don't ask for help. And then they will leave you with little gifts left behind so that like once you call for them, they're there, or they show up without. So here's the thing. In A Wrinkle in Time, she doesn't know these things exist. She's like freaking out. She's like, who the fuck are these people just showing up? But it's like, well, we heard a call in the universe. So they show up when she was ready to give up. And that's what I feel like happened with me, because in 2019, I hit my bottom, and that's when I got COVID. And right when I had hit my bottom, I was like, I'm done with everything. I give up on everything. I don't even believe in love. I don't think love is real. I think it's a crock of shit. Like, everything is a scam. I'm so over being on this planet. I don't want to do this anymore. And I literally was like, God, take me now, please. I don't want to do this. And that was like essentially my call to the universe. And that's when the awakening started happening for me. And I don't want anybody to have to suffer, but our story is written, and we have to get to the bottom to get to the top again. We have to hit the bottom of how we think there's no hope. There's just no hope anymore. And then that's when our awakening will start happening, because that's how it is. I don't know why it's like that. I don't think that everybody has to go through that. I think that light workers definitely have had it very rough, their first half of their life. But that's what happened to Wrinkle in Time. She gets to the point where she's ready to give up, and then the missus and the universe show up, and they're like, we heard a call in the universe for us. And that's when they started helping her figure everything out. So when I watched that movie, I was like, dude, that's what happened to me. Like, I got to my lowest, and then the awakening happened, and then I started seeing signs everywhere. And it's crazy because in January of 2020, after I had gotten over COVID, was when I had this older lady walk in, and that my pinned video of Shifting Dimensions in 2020 talks about it. This lady came into Chili's and just told me, like, hey, just so you know, like, really big things are headed your way. Don't give up. God has heard your prayers, and he's going to reward you for everything that you've done. And she didn't even know me. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? So it's little signs like that start coming to you. And that's when you start. After that, I had like 3 more people tell me, like, hey, you're gonna do big things. And I hadn't done TikTok. I hadn't done anything. I was just serving at Chili's. And I had all these people coming into Chili's being like, hey, just so you know, you're gonna be. I had this one lady after that first lady told me, you have really big things coming. She's like, you're gonna be so blessed, more blessed than you ever imagined. I started crying because I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then like a few days later, a week later or something, I had another lady who was like, hey, just so you know, you're gonna be in charge of something really big. You're gonna be leading something really big. You're gonna be managing something really big, like, just so you know. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then after that, I just kept having people tell me, like, every week, like, hey, you're gonna be in charge of something big. You're gonna be like huge. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Okay, then COVID hit. So then that's when I started my TikTok, like really posting on TikTok. So, everybody always says they see my aura, but I think it's just the shadow from the light. It's right there. But some people can see my aura, they say. So, obviously you don't have to lose hope. I think a lot of the light workers had to go through that stuff so that we could go through it, so you guys don't have to go through it. The people who want to learn, right? There's people who are just want to stay asleep, and so maybe they have to go through the tough stuff because it's really hard for them to let go of the matrix. But for the people who are willing and open to learn, they may not have to go through the rough stuff because now they can just learn from us. We went through I always say I've gone through the rough shit so that you guys don't have to, as the collective. Like, obviously we all go through our own stuff, but I think my purpose is definitely to go through some rough shit so that I could learn from it and be able to talk to you guys about it and help the collective out instead of you guys really having to suffer as much. And like I said, we all suffer, but because I've been able to kind of, navigate my way, I can help you guys kind of navigate yours as well. And a lot of people have messaged me that I've been able to help with their awakening or help with their healing process. So that's definitely my goal. Thank you. Go have breakfast. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. I was just thinking that. I was like, oh my God, I was gonna get off like 30 minutes ago. So anyways, thank you guys for being here. I am gonna go eat and dye my hair, and I will work on posting the last 3 lives, with including this one, on my YouTube and my podcast. So once I get off here, I'll start downloading those lives so that I can post them on there and you guys can watch them. If you guys missed anything, make sure you tune in to those. And my YouTube and my Instagram are Alex Serves. My podcast is Alex Serves It All. And make sure you check out my merch on alexserves.com. If anything ever happens, to me, or not to me, God, hopefully nothing happens to me, but if anything happens to me, you probably know what happened to me, but if anything happens to my social medias, I have everything on alexserves.com. Not everything, but I have, like, that's the one thing that is mine, you know what I'm saying, that's not connected to social media, so that's in my hands. So alexserves.com, subscribe there. I do have a subscription thing. I'm gonna work on like making my webpage the place to go instead of all the different social media stuff, but it'll take a minute until I can get there. So yeah, my website is alexserves.com. So if you guys want to make sure that in case something happens in the Matrix and they try to silence all my social medias, I do have my webpage, alexserves.com, and my merch is there, and then there's like a mailing list, so in case anything does happen, you guys will get the first scoop. Dylan is asking if I'm okay. I don't know why you're asking, am I okay? Like, do I look like there's something wrong? I don't know. I mean, my makeup's done. Like, what do you mean, am I okay? Yes, I am okay. I'm just very hungry, and my sister works from home, so I'm trying to keep my voice down because I don't want her like being distracted when she's working. I usually talk really loud on my lives, and my sister's because of both of our traumas, my sister's very sensitive to sounds, and like auditory stuff, sensory issues trigger her, so she doesn't like listening to me being loud, so I try to keep my voice down so that I don't bother her while she's working, because she's been working from home for like 5 years, and now I'm gonna be essentially working from home as well, and I just don't want to bother her because we're living in the same space, so I want to make sure that I'm respectful of her as well. So we gotta meet each other halfway. So anyways, all right guys, so I'm gonna get off. Make sure you guys be on the lookout for the live. If you missed anything with Marco, it was in the first hour. I'll be posting it on my YouTube and on my podcast. Someone's asking about reality shifting. I don't know what your term is of reality shifting. My reality shifting is just changing my reality. Like I just quit my job yesterday, so that's me reality shifting into a different reality, creating my own reality, breaking out of the matrix. You can definitely shift your reality by manifestation, meditation, and visualizing, doing a vision board, scripting, whatever it is that you need to do to shift your reality, you can do it. It's 100% real. I do it every day. Do I look at my Q&A? I actually haven't looked at my Q&A, so I'll take a look at it. Okay, let her go. All right, guys. I will see you guys later. Bye. Thanks for being here.